I'm just giving Facebook a chance to catch up here. Okay. So the topic for today is, how do you resolve differences in your relationship? Whoops. Okay, going live. Multiple places. Okay, how do you resolve differences in your relationship? I am Shauna White, relationship coach for spiritually awake couples. And I help people create heartfelt intimacy that flows naturally. And this topic is hugely important to creating heartfelt intimacy that flows naturally. How do you resolve the differences in your relationship? So there's a few examples that I want to bring from my clients and also from another community that I am exploring participation in. So one example is, if you have a disagreement over what constitutes appropriate behavior. For instance, if one member of a couple has a friendly interaction with someone outside the couple and it's across the gender or the sexual attraction aisle, whatever gender or sexual attraction means for that person, is it appropriate? Is it not appropriate? And how do you tell the difference? So the one part of the couple might say, that's not okay, what you said to her or to him. And the person who actually made the comment might say, it doesn't mean anything. Why are you getting upset about it? So how do you resolve a difference like that? It's a difference of perception, right? And then I'll go into the other chapter in a minute. So in the world of perception, where our personal truth is the highest truth, there's no way to resolve things like that except through compromise. One person decides that they're not going to care. Like the person who that's not okay with could say, okay, well, it makes me uncomfortable, but I don't want to control you, so I'm just going to live with the discomfort. And the other person gets to keep doing what they're doing. Or the person who made the comment that feels scary to their partner decides, okay, I won't make comments. I won't express myself that way with other people. For instance, like I dated a guy who used to call everybody baby, actually, and that was pretty easy to not have a concern about, because he called everybody baby. Man, woman, child, it didn't matter. I'm with someone now who I have observed uses the word sweetheart with me, of course, but he's also used the word sweetheart with somebody he doesn't know or doesn't know well, or with a woman, that is not me. And I had to realize that that's part of his vernacular, and it's fine. But here's where resolution really comes, is in discerning what's the energy that somebody is moving with. And this is why having divine love, a partnership with divine love, is an essential North Star for bringing your relationship into natural, heartfelt connection that flows really easily. Because with people who choose to put an inner partnership with divine love at the center of how they go through their days, then you have two motivations to choose from, two categories of motivations that are going to motivate your movements. One is, I'm feeling love moving me in this moment to express this way. And when you have that quality of motivation, you can share that with your partner, and you can explain what that quality of energy is that is motivating your movement. So in that sense, you give your partner the deep why of that was behind the action that you took, and your partner can feel the energy and feel how trustworthy it is, because love is not hungry, right? The other category of motivation is when we don't feel our interconnection with divine love, and then we take an action that's more about the commerce of energy, where we're looking to get something in exchange. And from that place, the action may not be so innocent. It may not mean anything, but it may not be innocent in the sense that it might be hungry. And so if you choose divine love as the North Star for yourself, and your partner also chooses that, and you choose that as the North Star for your relationship or how you're going to go about relationship, then you have the ability to ask your partner about, or ask yourself about, whether the the impetus to say something or do something is in alignment with divine love, with the genuine inspiration from divine love, or not. And if it's not, what is it made of? Which gives you the opportunity to query your subconscious of what you're feeling that is actually interfering with your ability to walk as a vessel of divine love. And you can ask your partner, what's that motivation about? Is it actually an expression of divine love, or is it an expression of disconnection from divine love and trying to fill an empty space because of that? Which we all have those habits. Because, I mean, I call them habits. We all have subconscious patterns still in our subconscious from years of learning how to survive emotionally in this world for the best outcome that we can create in a place of disconnection from divine love, because this world does not teach us how to partner with divine love. But when we start that discipline and that path in earnest, then that becomes the work. Is okay, something happened that, what's the energy feel like? Is that really the energy of divine love motivating me in that moment, or is it a subconscious pattern? Having this as the frame that you look at your relationship through makes it so much easier, so much softer, so much safer to take a closer look at the things that come up that might be uncomfortable to our partner, or that our partner is uncomfortable for us, that our partner might do, because we can look at it through the lens of what's coming up that we want to grow through, versus what's the expression of divine love creating in our life right now. It can be a little scary to switch to this approach, because the alternative is trying to control what happens so that it protects our comfort zone. And when we put divine love in charge, when we set divine love as our North Star, we do that with the understanding that our perfect comfort comes from that partnership with divine love, and we trust divine love to create harmoniously. Now, you can't force yourself to do that. You do that from practicing in little steps and discovering that, oh wow, when I do align with divine love and I successfully pull that off in this experience or that experience, things go better, much better than they do when I don't do that. And so you learn from experience, slowly, step by step, that actually is the most emotional safety and fulfillment and joy, that you can create in your life. It comes from walking in that partnership with divine love. So that's a gradual process. I have been walking through that process myself for many years, and I help people to walk through that process in a way that they don't hurt themselves. Because I'll tell you, I hurt myself by thinking I by making rules in my mind about how it should look to walk in alignment with divine love, and then carrying those out at the expense of really honoring my own feelings. So this gets now to the second chapter of what I wanted to share here when it comes to how do you resolve differences in your relationship. it's really important that while on the one hand, what I just talked about, we don't want to honor our emotional attachments in the sense of like allowing the allowing our fears to become rules. We don't want to allow our fears to become rules that then suppress the ability of ourselves and our partner to express the genuine inspirations that come through our connection with divine love, which is our highest expression of self, our most authentic expression of self, right? So we want to allow authenticity to take place. And yet emotional things can come up, and we want to not act out the emotion, but listen to what is the emotion telling us. So here's an example. In a community that I am a part of, um, some people have shared ideas that are landing, they're not landing well with with some of the rest of the community. Ideas about uh, women submitting and men leading in the relationship, this a certain interpretation of the polarity approach to relationship. And people are not, they listen to the post, they read the post, and they're like, this doesn't feel good, and they respond from the place that it doesn't feel good. And some people respond with a very mild manner in their comments, and some people respond with an obvious, it's obvious that they're triggered, and they're kind of like firing torpedoes in the way that they respond. And so what's happened is there's been an assessment that if you're triggered, there's something wrong with you, and you need to work on that which you are triggered by. There's nothing wrong with the post, it's just that you're triggered. So this could play out in your relationship too, where your your partner does something or says something, and then you have a reaction and you deliver in a somewhat emotional way, and your partner might invalidate what you're saying entirely, throw the baby out with the bathwater, because you're delivering what you're saying in a triggered way, and that's not allowed. That's not spiritual. You must be triggered, so there's something wrong with you. But there has to be full accountability from a place that comes from a place of actually honoring the emotion as a messenger. Yes, if you're triggered, there may be a message for how, what's triggering you, what's going on in your subconscious that came up. But on the other hand, there's also the energy of what originally happened that you're responding in a triggered fashion to. So for instance, if someone posts a short, those big posts where it's just like one statement that women, if you submit to the leadership of your man, you're going to be much happier in your relationship, as an example. Then if people respond to that in a reactionary way, they're getting suppressed for the reaction. But what's not being part of what's going on in that situation, in this example, what's not being addressed is the fact that the post itself was a kind of a broadcast energy that's putting out a because it's said in a broadcast energy, there's a bit of a push quality to the communication that's initiated by the poster. And when we push in communication, we get pushback. That's just like a law of nature. It's like a law of physics. So it's important when we're trying to work things out in our relationship, we have a difference coming up. It's important that all the messages get heard, and that no messenger, like emotions are messengers, and no messenger is not allowed to deliver its message just because it's reactionary. And even the fact sometimes that an emotion is reactionary is also part of a message. So But it is true that when things are reactionary, it's harder to hear what the other person is saying. So what's important is, or what do I want to say that this example is highlighting, is that, oh, okay. I'm glad I stopped to ask that question. Um, so here's the other part where divine love as a North Star really helps with situations like this. um, we as human beings are children of the divine. And we thrive in an environment that is created by the way that love creates, is created by love itself. So, in other words, when someone in our environment is expressing in alignment with divine love, they're going to express certain energy frequencies that are going to feel like, they're going to feel safe, they're going to feel harmonious, they're going to feel inspiring, they're going to help us feel deeper. And when we express from that place, we bring that quality of energy to the environment. Deviation from that energy, it adds chaos. So love is the coherent signal. Divine love is the coherent signal, and what is created through that partnership, inner partnership, knowing self deep enough to feel divine love and to let divine love move our words and our actions, that creates in a coherent signal. That's what feels in our system, is that coherent energy signature of love. Any deviation from what's created by the partnership of an awareness of love, alignment with love, is a deviation towards chaos, an incoherent signal, a deviation towards an incoherent signal. So that feels disruptive to our system. Now, this is where we tend to magnetize to ourselves someone that's of a similar frequency on this scale. But we heal by going towards that coherent signature of love. And it is a sliding scale. So we might have an experience that's more coherent. It's not perfectly aligned with divine love, but it's more aligned with love than what we experienced before. And that will be a healing transition for us. So when we're talking about communication, and we're talking about energy that's being put out into a shared space, that's one way that we could define communication. So if energy is being put out into a shared space that deviates from that harmonious signature of love and the flow that love creates, it's going to cause like bumps in the road that people might be like, oh, I don't like the way that energy signature feels. Ideas can take us out of that partnership with divine love. So for instance, in this group, or it could be even in your relationship, let's take it to your relationship. In your relationship, you or your partner might have an idea, a spiritual idea. Maybe you even have this idea that's going around in this group that polarity is a great way to approach relationship. As a lens, ideas are helpful as lenses where it actually shows you something deeper about yourself, because it's giving you like a lens of contrast to look through. Like in studying polarity, which is this idea that, the men have masculine energy, women have feminine energy, and it's the difference between those that makes a sparky chemistry, and that people would find benefit from leaning into those differences instead of trying to mitigate them. And I see some benefit in that, in the sense of countering emasculating influences that are all over the place in our society right now. But if you look through that lens, and as a woman, it helps you feel like, you just see something about yourself that allows you to relax because of looking through that lens. I can't even imagine what it would be because that lens is not really something that I have. It doesn't hold a gift for me. I don't have a chemistry of that lens, which just means that it doesn't hold a gift for me. But in other words, if it allows you to see something about yourself that allows you to move on the scale from fear or incoherence closer to love and harmony, then it's a helpful lens. But when we get infatuated with an idea and now we're going to implement an idea as how we relate to our partner, that's going to take us off course. It's going to take us to a state of disconnection from love, a lesser ability to feel our alignment with divine love because we're infatuated with an idea. And that's what's being displayed in this community is people are relating to each other through an idea. The poster is saying, hey, women, if you submit to men, it's going to, to the leadership of your man, it's going to make you feel better. There's an idea, and people are feeling the control. That idea is control if you put them out that way. And so people are feeling the control and they're going, I don't like that control. I don't like that feeling. And they're reacting. So when we're looking to sort out the differences that come up in our relationship, that these are the nuances that we want to look at. We want to look at, okay, is this an idea or is this actually a feeling of alignment that's being expressed? Am I feeling control? Like, look at the nuances of the energy, right? And that's why my method is energy flow intimacy dynamics. That's what I help people with, because this is where you get all the discernment that you need to fully resolve things back to a place where people feel like, oh, there's no energy trying to control me or make me feel less aligned with love or whatever. It's where people can actually relax. When you resolve the energy dynamics going on in the communication, that's when you can relax and be yourself and feel like you can be yourself and feel like you can relax deeper into that harmonic energy signature of divine love. So it's a practice of aligning with divine love so that you are cultivating your own awareness towards that harmonious energy signature, alignment with that harmonious energy signature. And then as you're developing your reference point for that, because you're cultivating your own energy signature like that, then you develop greater facility at being able to discern and navigate and question what's going on in your interactions with your partner and how well does that align with that harmonious coherent energy signature of love, or is it something else? And if it's something else, let's investigate what it is. Let's ask questions so that we can pull the subconscious pattern out into the light and heal it, and then relax back into the coherent energy signature of love. And when you have that sort of framework or focus for your relationship, then you just keep growing and deepening in heartfelt intimacy that flows naturally. And anytime there's a bump in the road, you can handle it really gently and find yourself in deeper intimacy on the other side of it. So that's my, I did not intend to speak this long. That's my dissertation on how to truly resolve differences in your relationship in a way that actually doesn't just patch things up as nice, where it feels kind of crummy under the surface, but you're ignoring that. But instead actually fully resolves what it was that came up in a way that allows intimacy to deepen and allows your heart to open even more. Let me know how this landed for you. What value does this exploration hold for you? Does it connect with what you're experiencing in your life? Please let me know in the comments. All right. Thank you so much. Have a great day. So I have to end multiple things here. Okay. Still getting used to my tech. Okay. Have a good day.